Beneath our feet lies a buried history, a world of secrets carved into stone, sealed in tombs, and hidden beneath shifting sands. Some of these discoveries fit neatly into the puzzle of human history, but others, they shatter it. Imagine holding an object that shouldn't exist, a tool thousands of years ahead of its time, or standing before a structure so advanced, even today's technology can't fully explain how it was built. These aren't just artifacts, they are riddles from the past, whispers left behind by civilizations that may have known more than we think. Were they signs of lost knowledge, ancient genius, or something far stranger? Today, we'll explore 20 of the most mysterious archaeological discoveries ever unearthed. Some will amaze you, some will disturb you, and a few may change the way you look at human history forever. Ready to dive in? Let's begin. Before we unlock these ancient secrets, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you love diving into the mysteries of history, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And hey, if you've got your own theory about any of these discoveries, drop it in the comments. Who knows? Your idea might be the missing piece of the puzzle. The Antikythera mechanism. In 1901, a group of sponge divers searching the waters off the coast of Antikythera, a small Greek island, stumbled upon something extraordinary. Among the remains of a shipwreck that had been resting beneath the sea for nearly 2,000 years lay a corroded lump of bronze and wood. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than debris, but as archaeologists examined it further, the truth began to unfold. This was no ordinary object. It was the remains of what many now call the world's first computer. The Antikythera mechanism is an intricate system of gears and dials, built with such precision that it left scientists speechless. Using nothing but bronze, ancient craftsmen had constructed a device capable of predicting solar eclipses, tracking planetary movements, and even charting the cycles of the Olympic Games. Think about that for a second. A device from over 2,000 years ago performing calculations that rivaled early modern clocks. What's perhaps most mysterious is not just the mechanism itself, but the knowledge behind it. How did ancient Greeks possess the mathematical and engineering skills to build something so advanced centuries before similar technology reappeared? Was this the work of a single genius, lost to history, or evidence of a broader knowledge base that vanished in the chaos of time? Even today, researchers debate whether the Antikythera mechanism was unique, or whether it was just one of many such devices lost in shipwrecks or crumbled libraries. If it was truly one of a kind, then we have to ask, who built it, and how did their brilliance disappear from human progress for more than 1,000 years? It's a reminder that history isn't always a straight line of progress. Sometimes the past holds secrets that feel almost futuristic. The Baghdad Battery. In 1938, while exploring the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia near Baghdad, archaeologists uncovered something that still sparks fierce debate today. A small clay jar sealed with asphalt, with a copper cylinder inside and an iron rod at its core. At first glance, it looked like a simple household container. But when reconstructed, scientists realized it bore a striking resemblance to a galvanic cell. In other words, a primitive battery. If this so-called Baghdad battery truly generated electricity, it would mean that people living over 2,000 years ago had knowledge of electrochemical energy long before Benjamin Franklin flew his kite, or Edison lit up New York. Some experiments have even shown that replicas of the jar can produce a mild electric current when filled with an acidic liquid, like vinegar or lemon juice. But here's the real puzzle. What would ancient civilizations have used electricity for? Theories range from electroplating metals to simple medical treatments, or perhaps even rituals meant to inspire awe with sparks and shocks. Skeptics argue it might never have been a battery at all, but rather a mundane storage jar, misinterpreted by modern eyes. Still, the question lingers. If ancient Mesopotamians truly harnessed electricity, even at the most basic level, then it suggests we've underestimated their technological imagination. Could there have been entire applications of electricity in the ancient world that we've yet to uncover? Or was this just a curious accident of design, a jar that only looks like a battery because we want it to? Whatever the answer, The Baghdad Battery remains one of archaeology's most electrifying mysteries. Literally. The Great Pyramids. Few monuments on Earth inspire as much awe as the Great Pyramids of Giza. Rising from the desert like colossal sentinels, they've stood for over 4,500 years, defying time, erosion, and countless theories about how they were built. The largest, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, once stood nearly 500 feet tall and was the tallest man-made structure on Earth for more than 3,800 years. But here's the mystery. How did ancient Egyptians accomplish such a feat with no modern machinery? The pyramid contains over 2 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as 80 tons. Moving and placing them with precision would be difficult even today. Did they rely on massive ramps, ingenious pulleys, or techniques now lost to history? No definitive evidence has ever been found. Adding to the enigma, the pyramid's alignment with celestial bodies is astonishing. The Great Pyramid is oriented almost perfectly to true north, and some believe the three pyramids align with the stars of Orion's belt. Were these coincidences or intentional design choices hinting at advanced astronomical knowledge? Beyond the engineering, there's the question of purpose. Officially, they served as tombs for pharaohs. Yet no mummies have ever been found inside the Great Pyramid itself. Some suggest they were more than tombs, perhaps energy structures, observatories, or something we can't yet comprehend. Standing before the pyramids, you feel a sense of both wonder and humility. They remind us that ancient people were capable of achievements that continue to puzzle the modern world. Maybe that's the greatest mystery of all. Not just how they were built, but what they still have to teach us about human potential. Stonehenge. On a grassy plain in England, a ring of massive stones rises against the horizon. Stonehenge has fascinated people for centuries, not only for its sheer scale but for the enigma of its construction. Some of the stones weigh up to 25 tons, yet were transported from quarries more than 150 miles away, long before the invention of wheels or advanced tools. How did prehistoric builders manage such a monumental task? Did they use sledges, rolling logs, or waterways? Or did they possess techniques we've long forgotten? The truth is, no one really knows. Then there's the deeper mystery. Why was Stonehenge built at all? Archaeologists believe it served as a ceremonial or religious site, perhaps linked to the solstices. Its stones align perfectly with sunrise and sunset on the longest and shortest days of the year. To early societies, this may have been a calendar carved in stone, a way of tracking time and seasons, but other theories suggest darker or stranger purposes, from sacrificial rituals to astronomical observatories, even connections to lost civilizations. Some fringe thinkers even claim it was built with help from beyond this world. Whatever the truth, Stonehenge still captivates because it represents something profoundly human, the desire to leave behind a legacy that endures. Thousands of years later, the stones still stand, silently inviting us to wonder who built them, how, and what they truly meant. The Nazca Lines. High in the arid deserts of southern Peru, vast shapes are etched into the ground, lines stretching for miles, forming geometric patterns, animals, and even human-like figures. These are the Nazca Lines, created over 1,500 years ago by removing the dark topsoil to reveal the lighter earth beneath. The sheer scale of these geoglyphs is mind-boggling. Some are so massive they can only be fully appreciated from the air, raising a haunting question. Why would an ancient culture with no known way to fly create designs visible only from the sky? Theories abound. Some say they were ceremonial pathways, walked during rituals. Others suggest they served as astronomical markers, aligning with stars and solstices. And of course, there's the popular, though controversial, idea that they were signals to the gods, or perhaps to extraterrestrial visitors. Regardless of their purpose, the Nazca Lines reveal extraordinary dedication and organization. Imagine coordinating hundreds of workers across vast desert plains to create images that would last millennia. That alone is a testament to the sophistication of the Nazca people. Yet the true meaning remains elusive. Were these giant drawings messages to the heavens? A form of art meant for gods, not humans? Or perhaps something even stranger? The desert has kept their secret well, and it may never fully give it up. Göbekli Tepe. In southeastern Turkey, buried beneath layers of earth for thousands of years, lies a site that has forced historians to rewrite the story of human civilization. Göbekli Tepe. Discovered in the 1990s, this ancient temple complex is estimated to be over 12,000 years old, nearly twice as old as Stonehenge, and predating the pyramids by millennia. Massive T-shaped pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, are arranged in circles and decorated with intricate carvings of animals. But here's the catch. This site was built long before humans were thought to have developed farming or permanent settlements. Conventional wisdom once told us that agriculture came first, followed by religion and complex societies. Göbekli Tepe flips that theory on its head. Who built it and why? Some scholars suggest it was a gathering place for rituals, a spiritual hub that united nomadic tribes. Others speculate it might represent humanity's first great experiment in monument building. What's equally mysterious is that, after centuries of use, the builders deliberately buried it in sand, almost as if they wanted to preserve it for the future. Göbekli Tepe whispers a radical truth. Advanced culture may have risen and fallen long before our traditional timelines ever imagined. The Olmec heads. Scattered across Mexico's ancient heartland are massive stone heads, some towering nearly 10 feet tall and weighing up to 40 tons. These are the Olmec colossal heads, carved over 3,000 years ago by one of Mesoamerica's earliest civilizations. Each head is distinct with unique facial features, expressions, and even what appear to be helmets. But their purpose remains a mystery. Were they portraits of rulers, guardians of sacred sites, or something else entirely? What makes the Olmec heads so puzzling is not just their artistry, but their logistics. How did an ancient culture without wheels or beasts of burden transport such massive stones across miles of rugged terrain? The effort alone suggests they held immense importance. Adding to the intrigue are claims about their features. Some observers argue the heads depict traits unusual for the region, sparking endless speculation about outside influences or connections to distant cultures. Though most scholars see them as local creations, their striking individuality keeps the debate alive. The Olmec heads stand like silent sentinels, gazing across centuries, their true story still locked within stone. The Piri Reis map. In 1929, a rolled-up piece of parchment was discovered in Istanbul's Topkapi Palace. It was a world map, drawn in 1513 by Ottoman Admiral Piri Reis. At first glance, it seemed like just another Renaissance chart. But then historians noticed something extraordinary. The map depicted parts of South America with startling accuracy, decades before Europeans had officially explored them. Even more shocking, it seemed to outline the coast of Antarctica, without ice. The frozen continent wasn't officially discovered until the 19th century. How could a 16th century mapmaker have drawn it centuries in advance? Piri Reis claimed his map was based on earlier sources, including charts from long-lost civilizations. Some suggest these could have come from ancient seafarers with knowledge that has since vanished. Others argue the similarities are coincidental, or that the map has been misinterpreted. Still, the mystery lingers. Was the Piri Reis map a window into forgotten exploration, or evidence that humanity once possessed global knowledge far older than we realize? The Shroud of Turin. In a cathedral in Turin, Italy, lies a length of linen cloth that has captivated believers and skeptics alike for centuries. Known as the Shroud of Turin, it bears the faint image of a man, front and back, as though imprinted by light or heat. Many believe it to be the burial shroud of Jesus Christ himself. Carbon dating tests in the 1980s suggested the cloth was medieval, dating between the 13th and 14th centuries. But later studies challenged those results, pointing to contamination and inconsistencies. Meanwhile, the image itself continues to baffle scientists. It isn't painted, burned, or stained in any conventional way. Some researchers propose it could have been created by a burst of radiation or energy. Others insist it's an elaborate medieval forgery, yet no one has been able to replicate it perfectly. That lingering impossibility fuels faith for millions, who see it as tangible proof of a miracle. Whether sacred relic or historical hoax, the shroud remains one of the most studied and most mysterious artifacts in the world. Easter Island's Moai. On a remote island in the Pacific, nearly 1,000 colossal stone statues stand watch. These are the Moai of Easter Island, carved by the Rapa Nui people between the 13th and 16th centuries. Each Moai can weigh up to 80 tons, yet they were somehow moved miles across the island without wheels, cranes, or modern machinery. How were they transported? Some researchers believe they were walked upright using ropes and a rocking motion, while others argue they were dragged on wooden sledges. Both theories would have required astonishing skill and cooperation. But the mystery doesn't stop there. Why were they built? Many scholars believe the statues represented deified ancestors watching over the living. Yet the sheer scale of the project may have also contributed to the island's ecological collapse, as trees were cut down for transport. To this day, the Moai stir wonder and melancholy. They embody the ingenuity of a people who, isolated on a small island, created monuments so enduring that they still hold the world in awe. The Longyu Caves. In 1992, villagers in China's Zhejiang province drained a pond, expecting to find nothing more than mud and stone beneath. Instead, they uncovered the entrance to a massive man-made cavern, the first of what would turn out to be an entire network of gigantic underground chambers, now known as the Longyu Caves. Carved directly into solid siltstone, these caves are astonishing in both size and craftsmanship. Some chambers stretch nearly 100 feet high, with walls etched in intricate parallel chisel marks. Yet here's the mystery. There are no historical records of their construction, no mentions in ancient texts, and no evidence of who built them. The effort required would have been staggering. Millions of cubic feet of rock removed without modern tools, and all perfectly engineered so the caves wouldn't collapse. For what purpose? Were they palaces, temples, military storage, or something? Entirely unknown. Their silence in history is what makes them so haunting. These colossal caverns remain one of the most baffling enigmas in Chinese archaeology. A forgotten wonder hidden underground. Pumapunku. High in the Bolivian Andes lies a site that seems to defy the capabilities of ancient builders. Puma. Punku, part of the Tiwanaku complex. Scattered across the plateau are enormous stone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons, cut with such precision that they fit together like pieces of a modern puzzle. What makes Pumapunku remarkable isn't just the size of the stones, but their geometry. Perfect right angles, interlocking shapes, and smooth drill-like holes suggest an almost industrial level of skill. How did a pre-Columbian culture, with no metal tools as we know them, achieve this? Conventional archaeologists argue it was simply advanced stonemasonry using patience, manpower, and ingenuity. But others believe it points to knowledge, or even technology, that has been lost. Some fringe theories suggest extraterrestrial involvement, though mainstream scholars remain skeptical. Regardless of the explanation, Pumapunku forces us to confront a humbling truth. The ancient world may have been capable of feats we still struggle to explain today. 3. The Sphinx of Giza. The Great Sphinx, crouching silently on the Giza Plateau, is perhaps the most iconic statue in the world. Carved from a single block of limestone, it measures 240 feet long and 66 feet high, representing a lion's body with a human face, possibly Pharaoh Khafre. But the mystery lies in its age. Some geologists argue that the erosion patterns on its body suggest water weathering, which would date it thousands of years earlier than the conventional timeline of 2500 BCE. If true, it would push the origins of Egyptian civilization back far beyond what textbooks currently claim. The missing nose, the enigmatic expression, and the lack of inscriptions add to the aura of mystery. Was the Sphinx originally part of a much older civilization? Or is it simply a masterpiece of Old Kingdom Egypt, weathered in ways we still don't fully understand? The Adin Sphinx watches the desert in silence, its secrets buried beneath sand and centuries, daring us to unravel the truth. The Ark of the Covenant. Few artifacts capture the imagination like the Ark of the Covenant. Described in the Bible as a golden chest built to house the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments, the Ark was said to radiate immense power, capable of bringing victory in battle, striking down enemies, and even killing those who touched it improperly. But here's the question: where is it now? Ancient texts describe its presence in Solomon's temple, but after that, it vanishes from the historical record. Some traditions claim it was hidden before the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem. Others say it was taken to Ethiopia, where some churches still claim to guard it today. Skeptics argue the Ark was a myth, a symbolic story rather than a real artifact. Yet the enduring legends suggest it may once have existed and may still be hidden. The Ark remains one of the most tantalizing mysteries of biblical archaeology, balancing on the edge of faith, history, and myth. The Voynich manuscript, tucked away in Yale University's library, lies a book that no one has ever been able to read. Known as the Voynich manuscript, it's filled with hundreds of pages of bizarre illustrations, strange plants that don't exist, astrological charts, and nude figures bathing in pools connected by impossible plumbing. Even stranger is the text. Written in an unknown script with no known alphabet or language, it has resisted every attempt at translation. Codebreakers from World War II, modern cryptographers, and AI algorithms have all tried and failed to crack its secrets. Some believe it's a medical or alchemical text, a forgotten knowledge from a lost culture. Others think it's an elaborate hoax designed to fool wealthy collectors. The truth is, no one knows. The Voynich manuscript stands as one of history's greatest riddles in ink, a book that whispers in a language humanity has yet to understand. The tomb of Qin Shi Huang. In 1974, farmers digging a well in China's Shanxi province uncovered fragments of clay that turned out to be one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, the Terracotta Army. Thousands of life-sized warriors, horses, and chariots stood buried in precise formation, guarding the still-sealed tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. The level of detail is astonishing. Each soldier has unique facial features, hairstyles, and armor. But the greatest mystery isn't the army, it's the tomb itself. Ancient records describe rivers of mercury flowing through a miniature replica of China, crafted to mirror the empire. Tests of the soil near the tomb show abnormally high levels of mercury, suggesting the legends may be true. The tomb has never been opened, partly out of respect and partly out of fear. Scientists worry that exposing it could damage its contents irreparably. Until technology advances enough to explore it safely, the emperor's resting place, and whatever secrets lie within, will remain sealed, waiting. The Copper Scroll. Among the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered in the 1950s, one stood out from the rest. Unlike the others, which were written on parchment or papyrus, this one was engraved on copper, and instead of religious texts, it contained a treasure map. The Copper Scroll lists more than 60 hidden caches of gold, silver, and sacred objects, supposedly buried throughout Judea. If true, the total treasure would be worth billions today. Yet, despite decades of searching, no one has ever found a single one of these hoards. Was it a genuine record of hidden riches, meant to safeguard sacred treasures from invaders? Or was it symbolic, a spiritual allegory that we've misread as literal instructions? Some believe the treasure was already found and looted in antiquity, while others think it's still waiting to be discovered. The Copper Scroll remains an unsolved puzzle, one that could change history if its secrets were ever unearthed. The Yonaguni Monument. Off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan, lies a massive underwater structure discovered by divers in the 1980s. Terraces, steps, and geometric formations stretch across the seabed, sparking fierce debate. Is this a natural formation or the ruins of a lost civilization? Supporters of the man-made theory point to sharp right angles, flat platforms, and what look like carved staircases. Some even suggest it could be the remains of an ancient city swallowed by the sea thousands of years ago. Skeptics argue the features can be explained by natural geological processes like tectonic activity and erosion. If Yonaguni is truly artificial, it would rewrite the story of early civilization in East Asia. If natural, it still serves as a haunting reminder of how human perception seeks meaning in stone. Either way, the Yonaguni Monument is a stunning, mysterious landmark, one that blurs the line between history and nature. The crystal skulls. Few artifacts have sparked as much intrigue or controversy as the crystal skulls. Carved from clear or milky quartz, these life-size skulls began appearing in the 19th century, claimed to be relics of ancient Mesoamerican civilizations. According to legend, they possess mystical powers, healing, prophecy, or even a link to extraterrestrial beings. Some stories claim that when all 13 skulls are united, they will reveal secrets about humanity's destiny. Scientific tests, however, show that most skulls were likely carved in the 1800s with modern tools. Yet the myths endure, fueled by their eerie beauty and the sense that they represent something more than just decorative carvings. Whether ancient relics, clever forgeries, or something in between, the crystal skulls remain powerful symbols of mystery, objects that challenge us to question where history ends and legend begins. The London Hammer. In 1936, a couple hiking near London, Texas, stumbled upon a curious object, a hammer encased in rock. The wooden handle protruded slightly, while the metal head was locked inside what appeared to be solid stone. Geologists later determined that the rock surrounding the hammer could be over 100 million years old. How could a human-made tool be embedded in such ancient stone? Some argue it's evidence of advanced civilizations existing far earlier than we believe. Others suggest the hammer itself is modern, and the rock formed around it through unusual mineralization processes. The London Hammer sits at the crossroads of science and speculation. If genuine, it would upend our understanding of history. If not, it remains an odd curiosity, a reminder that not every mystery has a simple answer. From buried temples to underwater monuments, from enigmatic artifacts to texts we cannot read, these 20 discoveries remind us of one thing. The past is not a closed book. It's a story still being written, with pages missing, torn, or hidden in plain sight. Every discovery forces us to ask bigger questions. How much knowledge has been lost? How much have we underestimated the genius of ancient civilizations? And, perhaps the most haunting question of all, what else is still out there, waiting beneath the earth, the oceans, or the sands of time? One day, new discoveries may rewrite history again. Until then, we're left with mysteries, echoes of forgotten worlds that continue to call out to us, daring us to solve them.